Hey guys and girls, I am in Alabama right now. Actually, I might have crossed over into the Mississippi line. I'm not really sure. Heading home after, I guess this is day number 17 out on the road. Been working, busy. Just brought me a couple of Whopper Juniors back there. An Oreo shake. A Burger King. They're not one of my sponsors. I'm one of their sponsors. I'm sponsoring them, that's what it amounts to. But I've had an exciting 18 days, no doubt about it. We've been to the Bassmaster Classic, and great classic. They had huge crowds there, huge crowds. Had a great time. Spent time with a lot of my buddies down there. Visited with thousands of y'all. I was there both Friday and Sunday. And Friday night, I flew to Virginia and spoke at Liberty Live in Hampton Roads on Saturday morning up till noon. Great bunch of people up there. We had about 1,500 people there Saturday morning, over 1,500. Over 200 decisions for Jesus, so it was just absolutely exciting, super exciting. Great music, great speakers. I wasn't the only one, great speakers. And we just had a great time there. Went back to the Bassmaster Classic, flew back to Dallas Saturday night. Late, didn't get much sleep that weekend, but had a great weekend. Then I went on down to Louisiana after that. Took my Ranger 521R Shell Rotella wrap boat, Mercury motor, down to the Louisiana Sportsman Show at La Place, Louisiana, just north of New Orleans, there on Lake Pontchartrain. And was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I put my boat in there Thursday, took all day to clean it up, but boy, it looked good. Man, it looked good. That boat looked so good. And visited with people there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Had an incredibly great time, just a great time. Used Monday to drive on over to Alabama, and took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and turkey hunted and fished. Now, I actually turkey hunted in the mornings till about noon a couple of days, and then fished till dark. And then the next day, I fished until 11 o'clock, and then turkey hunted till dark. Did not see a single gobbler, none, zero. And I did hear 4 gobbles. I think it was the same turkey both times. Gobbled twice on the roost up in the tree. Sounded about a quarter mile away. Gobbled 2 more times when he hit the ground. Sounded about a half a mile away. That wasn't good. I actually only saw 2 turkeys all week. I did call in 2 hens. I actually called 3 hens in. We only saw 2 of the 3. Actually called 3 hens in. One of them I didn't see. My buddy I was hunting with, he saw it, but I didn't see it. Brian Morse. But anyway, so I'm a hen caller, not a gobbler caller, it seems like. But anyway, so the turkey hunt wasn't good, but boy, did we catch a fish. Golly, do we catch a fish. We caught so many, it was amazing. We had one tough day. We only caught 7 all day long, me and Red Berry and I. But we caught one that weighed over 10 pounds. 2 other really large ones. And we only caught 7 fish all day, so that's a pretty tough day. But when we did get a bite, 3 of them were really big bites. So that worked okay. It was one of those days where we caught 1 or 2 fish, and then we went like 5 or 6 hours without a bite. And then caught another couple big ones right there before dark. But that was good. We ended the week not turkey hunting at all on Friday, but simply fishing, and just absolutely smoked them. We shot a television show, and Pat Turner was there, who runs our production company, and we had all these storms rolling around that been devastated the South with all the tornadoes, and several people actually lost their lives in these storms. And Pat was concerned about driving into these storms late at night, and so actually he left at about noon. And I think he actually left at noon to driving back to Oklahoma. And Red and I went and fished another lake that we knew about. That we had a chance to go fish. And we went to another lake, and we caught them even better. In fact, we probably caught 10 or 12 bass over 5 pounds. Now, that morning, I caught one about over 8 pounds, and we didn't catch you that big that afternoon. But we caught quite a few 3-pounders, and probably 10 or 12 bass over 5 pounds. So we don't have any video of all that because Pat was gone, but we did. It was great. I mean, it was absolutely great fishing. We just had a blast. We had a blast. And got back to Cozumel, Alabama, and loaded up all my stuff and headed off to Huntsville, Alabama for the the Major League Fishing Red Crest tournament, they call it. I've been calling it a championship, but it's a Red Crest is what they call it. It's like the Bassmaster Classic. It's for the year-end deal where they take, I don't know how many people they take in the tournament, but it's the ones that finish up close to the top. And they have that big tournament. That tournament pays $300,000 also. I believe that Dustin Connell won that tournament. He was leading by about 16 pounds when I left. And on that deal there, you know, they don't keep their fish. They don't go weigh them in or anything. They weigh them in a boat and then turn them loose. And they can catch as many as they want. They don't have to catch just 5 and then call down and weigh their five biggest in. Doesn't make for a very exciting weigh-in, but it does make it for a pretty tense situation out there if you're fishing it. I did fish one bunch of goats out there in that field. That looked pretty cool. But I did fish one MLF tournament on Table Rock Lake, a kind of a celebrity event with Bill Dance and Roland Martin and Timmy Horton. Ott Defoe, Ott was my partner. We finished second in that event. Got beat by a pound, by a huge mistake by Ott, and another huge mistake by me. And had he not made his mistake or I not made my mistake, either one of us would have won the tournament. But, you know, that's just the way it goes. I can understand making mistakes. I can't believe Ott made one. I can't believe Ott Defoe made one. But anyway, that's the great things about the week. It's been a wonderful 17 or 18 days, a lonely 17 or 18 days, because I miss my beautiful Chris every day. And this little video I put on right here before dark. It's raining a little bit right now, and right here before dark as I drive between Alabama and Memphis, Tennessee. And I want to give you kind of an update on Chris because a really important anniversary happened yesterday, as a matter of fact. Yesterday was April 5. April 5, 4 years ago, is when my beautiful Chris had her stroke. I was actually driving in about the same area away from Birmingham. I was on a different highway. I was coming from New Orleans instead of Oklahoma. But I was about an hour away from Birmingham when Sherri called me and my daughter and told me that Chris had had a stroke, a really, really bad stroke. And my first question to Sherri was, is she alive? And she said she was still alive, but really, really bad. And there was a really good possibility, according to the doctors, that she would not make it. And I turned around in the middle of the interstate and just drove right through the center of the median and headed back the other way. I had driven 646 miles that morning from 7 o'clock until that afternoon. I turned around and drove 646 miles back to Oklahoma City. Drove 22 and a half straight hours. I spent that last 646 hours crying out to God. I don't know if you could call it actually praying. I was sure talking to God. Most people call it a prayer. The Bible talks about crying out to God when you're desperate, crying out to God when you have a really dire situation. That's what I was doing. I've done that only a few times in my life, but I cried out to God. I prayed constantly for 646 miles. Shed a lot of tears. I don't know what all was going through my mind, but I talked to God a lot. And I just kept asking him over and over, just let her live. Just let her live. I know she's going to be damaged. Her brain was severely damaged, but it doesn't matter. I love her so much. And let her live, dear Lord. Please let her live. Let her live. And God did. God answered that prayer 100%. I didn't know how bad she was injured. I knew it was really, really bad when I made it to the hospital that morning at 4:30. I'd driven, like I said, 22 and a half straight hours, and met with the doctor around 6 o'clock or something, I don't know. And he told me that it was extremely severe. It was so bad he could not operate. And it was so bad that he told me that she would probably never leave that hospital alive. She would never be able to go back to our ranch. I don't even know how he knew we had a ranch. And that she would have to live in a nursing home for the rest of her life. She would never be able to go back home and think. The reason I share this today, and I shared it with you a couple days after that. I think maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday, because Chris does a deer video with our pet deer that we have, and a wild deer also. We fed wild deer and pet deer and some of them by hand. And she has a deer video she put out every week, and I realized all of a sudden she wasn't going to be able to put that deer video out, so I had to explain to everybody and all my friends and out there on social media why Chris would not be having her deer video. And I wasn't going home that week. I spent every day there the first couple of weeks in the hospital room with Chris and just did not go home. She was in the hospital 6 or 8 weeks all told, and Sherri and I took turns after that first couple of weeks. Pretty much the first couple of weeks, Sherri and I both were in there. It was during COVID. They told us we couldn't stay in the room with them, but we just simply didn't take no for an answer. And the doctor said she would probably not leave that hospital alive. She would not go back to the ranch. She would have to live in a nursing home for however long she lived, and she would not to go back to that ranch. And I want to do this update here because this is 4 years. 4 years yesterday, April 5, 2021. April 5, 2025, 4 years. And she's still alive. She's not spent one single night in a nursing home, praise God. And she does live with me at that ranch, 100%. I'll be driving until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, getting back home. If I can make it. If I get too sleepy, I'll stop and get a hotel room. My plans are to drive until I get to my daughter Sherri's house, and maybe get in there at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or 5 or whatever, and lay down and sleep a couple, 2 or 3 hours, and then go on to the ranch and take Chris back to the ranch tomorrow, because I know she's missed that ranch just like I have. She loves that ranch. We live in heaven. I know heaven is incredible. I know it's going to be a huge upgrade for everybody that goes to heaven, and everybody can go to heaven. But I just can't feature how it'll be much of an upgrade of what God's given us, a place to live here on this earth as we go through this time that we have here on the earth. But be carrying Chris back there. Got my buddy Bill Eppers is coming in this week, and Joey, and we are going to be doing fishing a couple of days, and I've got several more things planned the rest of this month. April's a busy month. May slows down a little bit. We will be opening a new Bass Pro Shop in Tyler, Texas. So if you're anywhere within a couple, 2 or 3 hours of Tyler, Texas, be sure to be there this coming Wednesday night, April 16th. My buddy Roland Martin will be there as well. I think Bill Dance might be coming. I'm not positive of that, but I think he might be coming. Johnny Morse will be there. Johnny Morse. And we'll have a lot of other people there, celebrities, might even have some Dallas Cowboys there, or maybe Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, which might be a lot better the way the Cowboys have been doing lately. But we're going to have a lot of fun there at Tyler, Texas that night. It'll be incredible buys, the best buys that you can get all year on fishing tackle, and a good percentage of the money that is spent there that night at that Bass Pro Shop will go to conservation to be used right there in the Tyler, Texas area, which is also already one of the best areas in the whole United States to hunt and fish. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all down there in Tyler, Texas next Wednesday night, April 16th. That event opens, we have the opening ceremonies at 6 o'clock. I will be emceeing those opening ceremonies, and then we will be having some autograph sessions with a lot of celebrities. Usually a dozen or 15 celebrities there, and it'll just be an evening you won't want to forget. Those of you that live anywhere around close to Tyler, Texas, it'll be an evening that you'll be talking about 10, 15, 20 years from now. If you got kids, bring your kids. If they're 5 years old or 6 years old, they'll always remember when they went to the evening of conservation at the Bass Pro Outdoor Store opening in Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas. I don't know if I ever thought I'd see a Bass Pro in Tyler, Texas, but what a great town that is. I've spoken to churches down there a couple of times. Great people, lots and lots of friends from Tyler, Texas, and actually owned a ranch not too far from there over in Athens, Texas. Chris and I owned that ranch for quite a few years, and we sold that one where we actually got the money to buy our interest in the Twin Eagle Ranch. We own half an undivided interest in that. We have one partner in there, Aaron Wells, and yeah, it kind of all started right there close to Tyler, Texas. Lake Fork is right there in that area, so you might come down there and fish in Lake Fork all day, have a chance to catch your PB, your biggest bass ever, and then come to that evening conservation that night. But I want to end this with talking just a little bit about Chris. She's just doing what's so wonderful. She's so beautiful. She's 77 years old. Hard for me to understand that, but when I understand I'm 80, she's only 3 years younger than me, so she is 77 years old. She is an incredibly, incredibly beautiful woman for 77 years old. I'm 80, but I'm not dead. I'm still a man, and I look at pretty girls all the time. I don't know if I've ever in my life seen a 77-year-old woman anywhere near as old as my beautiful Chris. But then when she was 20, she was beautiful. When she was 30 and 40, she was beautiful. But she doesn't have any wrinkles. Her skin is beautiful and soft and warm to the touch. And she's just an incredibly beautiful woman. I'm so blessed. We've been married 61 years. And she has not improved a lot from this time last year to now, but she has improved. God continues to heal her every day. She talks much, much better than she did, say, this time last year. Probably talks better than she did this time 6 months ago. She doesn't say everything perfectly, but she says a lot perfectly. And she does a lot. Sometimes if she's tired, she has a hard time saying anything that I understand. But then I say a lot of things she doesn't understand either. So she does comprehend everything I'm saying. She knows everything that's going along. She enjoys sports like she always has. The thing that she really misses is fishing. And she's not getting to go to fish, and it probably kills me worse than it hurts her. I don't know, but I just give everything I've got to get her to be able to go out and fish with me in the boat again and use that right arm and catch fish. She can't walk, she can't use her right arm. She has no pain. She can't feel the right side of her body, so she has no pain. Her eyes are bright, beautiful. Her smile is not as perfect as it was before she had that stroke, but it's pretty doggone close. Her smile is beautiful, and she's still an incredible woman. I haven't talked about this maybe at all on social media, I'm not sure, but I really believe that when I brought her home after those couple 2 or 3 months in the hospital, when I brought her back to the ranch and we began to learn how to live without a cook in the family. We have one now, or a partial cook, that's me. When we had an incredible cook in the family for all those years we were married, I guess 57 years before she had that stroke, and live with her being in a wheelchair and taking care of her, and her taking naps in the day, her sleeping late in the morning, taking naps in the afternoon, going to bed early at night. But we learned all that, and she loves the ranch as much or more now than ever. But when I brought her home, she barely knew who I was. She certainly was not in love with me. I was still badly in love with her, but she wasn't in love with me. I didn't share that with anybody, but I knew that, I could tell that. She hardly knew who I was. And here she was, sleeping with a man, living with a man that, honestly, she barely knew. I took that as a challenge. I took that as a challenge to, by golly, just make her fall in love with me again. And I was really confident I could do that. I was confident the first time I did it. And it was really hard that first time for her to fall in love with me. She rejected me for quite a while before she ever would even hardly talk to me, let alone go out on a date. But when she did fall in love with me, she fell really, really hard, I gotta say that. And I think, without a doubt, when I got saved at 12 years old, that God chose that little Indian girl in Cherokee County to be my wife. He put her on that mountain of blessings that He has for me when I got saved, and she fell in love with me. And I believe that. I believe that all of the time that we've been married. And that belief right there led me to believe that if God destined, if God ordained Chris to be my wife, He could help me make her fall in love with me again. And by golly, she did. And she fell hard again too. She's in love with me. A man knows And even though she doesn't have 100% of her brain, a lot of her brain's been destroyed, that part that LOVE is in, she loves me. And of all the things that I've done in my life, and tournaments and business and whatever, honestly, to me, I kind of consider that my greatest accomplishment is getting her to fall back in love with me again. And she has. And I miss her so much when I go out on the road like this for 17 or 18 days. This year I've had an 18-day trip, a 14-day trip, and now another 18-day trip. And here it is, just the first week in August, or the first week in April. I guess it'd be good if it's the first week in August. But the first week in April, we are still shooting 39 television shows a year. We are still doing about 60 personal appearances or more, and doing 1,000 videos for social media. So we're still working really, really hard. And it is a lot more work than it's ever been all my life, because I don't have my tremendous helper that the Bible calls our wife. What God created for Adam was a helper, and I don't have my helper to help me in a lot of it. So it's a little bit more work and effort to do all that than it ever has been before. But I've always thought that sleep was highly overrated. I don't really sleep that much, and the time that I spend at the ranch with Chris is precious, and it's well worth working till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to get everything done business-wise, so I can spend that time with her. So the only way it could be any better right now with Chris and spending time with Chris at the ranch, honestly, is if she could walk and she could use that right arm and she could go fishing with me. We still ride around on the ranch on the mule. We still enjoy watching all kinds of sports on television. We're Los Angeles Dodger fans, which is pretty easy to be right now. We're Oklahoma University fans, which if you pick the right sport, it's pretty easy to be. It was kind of difficult to be football fans this year for Oklahoma University, but we're still big fans, even if they lose. But our softball team is great. Our gymnastics team is great. My buddy, the coach's Oklahoma University baseball team, he's got a top 10 team this year, and he's doing really, 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 really good. And he's a great fisherman as well. I love to fish with him. But we're still watching all of the Oklahoma sports that we can watch on television. We even watched gymnastics match the other day, and they're great in gymnastics. But we love softball, we love baseball, we love football, we love basketball, both men's and women's. And our men's team didn't last very long in the playoffs when they got down to the March Madness. Our girls team made it to the Sweet 16, and she enjoys all of that. She travels with me. We've been to Major League Baseball games in New York and Philadelphia and Los Angeles. We've been to Vegas. We've been to Broadway. She's just been an incredibly wonderful wife. This second time she fell in love with me. And taking care of her it's really not been a burden. It's been a blessing. So it's getting dark here in Mississippi. I am definitely in Mississippi right now, and about 400 miles from home, 450, something like that. So I'm going to keep this Ram truck, this expressway Ram truck, heading west with that Ranger boat behind me, and be really careful. And you probably won't see this until Sunday, maybe after church. But remember, fish lucky, and I sure do love you.